Imagine going from stealing content to literally unaliving your therapist. That is the tragic tale of popular TikToker Mr. Prada. We're going to cover the who, the why, and the now. Starting from the now. Right about now, Terryon Thomas, aka Mr. Prada, has been accused and might be facing the death penalty for unaliving his therapist. But before we get into the now, we have to go back to the beginning of the event that started this. Terryon Thompson, aka Mr. Prada, has over 4 million followers on his main account on TikTok, where he shares relatable content that is loved by many. Even with accusation that he's been stealing content from other people, his fans are stuck beside him. Until now, Mr. Prada posted a video entailing him practicing for his mugshot. From the outside perspective, it looked like just a little jokey joke, nothing to be taken seriously, because it falls under the relatable niche and most audiences took it as such. Until months later, Mr. Prada started posting videos of him with a shaved head and eyebrows, which made fans start to speculate on his mental health and if he was being well taken care of. William Abraham was his alleged therapist. I'm unclear of how long he's been treating Mr. Prada, but he was found unalive by the side of a Louisiana highway on Thursday. And at this point, Mr. Prada had not been charged, but the police was looking for him on the crimes of the suspicion of unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, resisting an officer, and aggravated criminal damage to a property after he allegedly backed into a police car while fleeing. After an investigation was embarked upon, what came out will shock the public that a 20-year-old could do such a thing. But before that, let's talk about who Mr. William Nicholas is. William was 69 years old at the time of the incident, and he was a therapist to anyone who could afford him. He was recalled by loved ones as kind, loving gentleman, and was frankly not the kind of man that something like this would have ever happened to. No one is. On Monday, during the investigation, the police released a picture of the person of interest involved, and social media recognized the individual as Mr. Prada and did their own investigation, claiming Mr. Prada was involved in Abraham's 2015 arrest, during which the therapist was accused of inappropriately touching an 11-year-old client. But later on, the 11-year-old recounted their statements, and the prosecutor decided not to take the case to trial. Abraham's attorney during this case has since come out to deny the rumor that Mr. Prada was the alleged 11-year-old victim, but this doesn't take away from the fact that during their therapy session that Mr. Prada couldn't have been a victim of SA, but he's yet to use that as his defense for murder in court. But that wouldn't make a huge difference. The justice system is known to fail male SA victims. Look at the Menendez brothers. If it was the Menendez sisters, the story might have been a little different. 11-year-olds don't wake up and lie about SA. It's a really serious thing. Since it's been recounted, William can't be held liable in this instance and should be treated as the victim he is in this very unfortunate case. Video surveillance footage gathered by investigators also showed William arriving at Mr. Prada's apartment complex at around 11 a.m. on Saturday, September 28, 2024. A witness told detectives they saw Mr. Prada struggling to drag an object wrapped in a tarp downstairs before loading the tarp into Abraham's car. Police were called to investigate on Sunday after William was found rolled up in a comforter and taped up with duct tape inside a tarp on the side of a highway in Louisiana. The cause of death was determined to be homicide, and the manner of unaliving was blunt force trauma. Detectives searched Mr. Prada's apartment in Baton Rouge, where they found evidence that indicated a very violent altercation that had taken place. Significant amount of blood was observed throughout the apartment, along with multiple sharp objects and other weapons. And efforts to discard evidence by cleaning up the scene was done by Mr. Prada. Mr. Prada, who's from Louisiana, was later arrested in Dallas on Tuesday after U.S. Marshals received a tip that Thomas had been seen in the city, and members of North Texas Fugitive Task Force searched the downtown area and spotted Mr. Prada sitting on a bench, and he was taken into custody without any incident. And he was charged with second-degree murder, which he has since pled not guilty to, and it was raised to first-degree murder recently. According to the Louisiana detective, this was recounted as a very physical and very violent attack. He was bludgeoned in the head, shoulders, and neck. There was a lot of bruising and pain involved. No one deserves such a death. This was clearly a very violent crime of passion, and all evidence proves that Mr. Prada might have committed this crime, but he's yet to be convicted. Just weeks ago, Mr. Prada was indicted by a grand jury and faces charges of first-degree murder, obstruction of justice, aggravated criminal damage to property, and unauthorized use of motor vehicle, which he pleaded not guilty to, and we have way more information about this case. What are your opinions on this? Tell me in the comments. I'll reply and subscribe.